Here are 8 things I wish somebody would have told me sooner, and now I feel like I need to tell everybody. My name is Tiara Click. I am the founder of When the Mind Clicks, a joy strategist and a mental health based leadership development coach and educator. So, this video is for leaders whose healing is rippling outward to the people around them. And I want to tell you some things that I wish somebody would have told me sooner, but I was able to figure it out. So, we're all good to go, and you can too. But first, how do you know if you're a leader? When your healing, your education, your growth has an impact on the people around you, those are the qualities of a leader. And what I'm about to share with you are some things that I wish I knew sooner. Honestly, these are going to be applicable to everyone, but especially as leaders, these are things that we really should be mindful of. These are truths that I earned and learned the hard way, and I'm going to share them with you so that you don't have to go through what I went through to get this information. I'm going to give you 8 things I wish I knew sooner and I had to learn the hard way, and I'm not holding anything back. Truth number 1, build the plane while you fly. What does that mean? Do not wait until everything is perfect. The perfect moment is a myth. It will never arrive. Things will never be perfect exactly how you need it to be. Get the plane in the air and keep building it and designing it as it's flying, okay? Action is literally the foundation, not the reward for readiness. So just do it, because taking action isn't the reward you get from, okay, I'm finally ready, now I can take action. No, take the action now and then perfect your craft on the way. Leaders don't wait for permission to take off, and they don't wait for the perfect conditions. They course correct mid-air. So take flight. Truth number 2, no one lives your life but you. This is your vessel. This is your ship. You spend more time with yourself than anybody you will ever be around. You will literally be yourself forever. So other people's input, comments, all these things that they're trying to make you do and make you feel, you're the one who has to live with yourself. So this is your life. Remember that. And I feel like a lot of times there's also this weird paradox that we end up treating ourselves poorly because we spend so much time with ourselves. The more we know about ourselves, our secrets, our worst moments, our mistakes, the harsher we begin to be to ourselves. Our self-appraisal becomes extremely critical and harsh, but this isn't an isolated experience. You're not the only one who goes through that. Every human carries that. That's why sometimes we're harder on ourselves than we are to others, because the other people are putting on a certain mask, not in a bad way, but they're presenting themselves the way that they present to the world. You know everything you did and everything you've done, so then you end up being extra hard on yourself. Stop doing that and extend some grace to yourself, because you're not the only one who has made mistakes or done terrible things they may have regretted. We extend grace to others partly because we don't know their full story the way we know our own story. So remember that. And also remember, when people are giving you all this feedback, telling you how you should live your life, they're not the one who's going to be in your body the rest of your life. They're going to make that comment and be with you for a fraction of your life. Even if it's someone you live with and you're spending the rest of your life with them, they are not you 24 hours of the day, 7 days of the week. So you need to flip that confidence and that lens inward and be as kind to yourself as you are to those people that you've placed on a pedestal. So just remember that and treat yourself with care. And that goes beyond emotional and the way you think about yourself, but also the way you maintain yourself. Truth number 3, manifestation needs a foundation, not just a vision. You can think it, write it, vision board it, and still not receive it if your nervous system is dysregulated, you are still in survival mode, or you don't believe what you're saying is possible for yourself. I believe that anything is possible. So when you do begin to manifest, I'm so on board with that. I love it. But when you do this in a space where you're not even ready to receive or believe what you're saying, a dysregulated nervous system, you're constantly reactive in survival mode. When you're in that mode, you cannot feel what it's like to already have that thing. The missing ingredient to why you're not receiving what you are manifesting for is your nervous system regulation. You need to start building the internal environment that can actually hold what you are requesting. It can hold what you are asking for. It can hold this goal that you are setting. And I can give you a visual of that. Imagine I'm like, I want 5 gallons of water, but I only have this little cup of belief. No matter how many gallons people pour into me, I will never be able to hold 5 gallons because I only have a cup. If I want 5 gallons, I need to build myself to hold 5 gallons. I need a bigger tub. So think of it that way and build a bigger tub within yourself. And have some faith. Faith is not just belief, it's a felt sense. Your body has to feel it too, it has to believe it too. This is where healing and ambition meet. And that is how you get exactly what you want. And it is possible. I promise you that. Truth number 4. You're not hiding as well as you think you are. We suppress, isolate, project a curated version of ourselves, but humans are actually wired to detect inauthenticity. Even when they can't fully put their finger on it, they may not be able to name it or what's going on, but we can feel it. I'll give you an example. A little kid who stole some cookies out the jar and thinks they got away with it. But every adult in the room already knows it was this little kid. And he may not even get called out on it. But he thinks he's the sneakiest, slyest, most clever person in the room, right? Sometimes that happens to us even as adults. We put on this front, we act like we're a way we are, but people can sense, sometimes even can tell when you're insecure, not as kind as you're leading on. Right? You're not hiding that kind of stuff as well as you think. So be authentically yourself and look up Carl Jung's individuation. Just learn a little more about that because suppressing who you are costs you and you relinquish building authentic relationships. Authenticity isn't just a value, it's also a strategy in how to move forward in life and build more meaningful relationships. Truth number 5, break up with the spirit of offense. Being easily offended keeps you reactive, contracted, and it is not a posture of a leader. So when you're easily offended by things, just remember a lot of the times the way people behave have a lot more to do with them and what they're going through than with you. Try to minimize taking things personally, even if it was directly targeted to you. Don't harbor that. Don't hold on to that. You live your life. Offense usually is a signal that there's some unhealed wound, right? If someone tells me, oh, I hate your blue hair, that's so terrible, I'm not going to be offended because I don't even have blue hair, right? But if they say, oh, I hate that animal print outfit you got on, and I get offended, then maybe there's some wound about insecurity about maybe I shouldn't have worn this, or, I knew this was a bad look, or da-da-da-da. Don't even take it personally. That's their opinion. And if they don't like it, that's totally fine. Releasing offense is not necessarily just letting people off the hook, right? But it's freeing yourself from the hook. I don't need to get hooked by what you just said. And what happens is when we get easily offended or take things personally, it often carries over into other places in our lives and we become more reactive, or people can tell. And it's a little unbecoming to be offended by so many different things. The real flex is being confident in somebody sharing their opinion or saying something and it not really bothering you. I mean, it can bother you inside, sure, but like it not really having you pressed like that. We really shouldn't take things as personally as we do, because when we do that, we're assigning a level of meaning and power to what they've just said that doesn't need to be there. Truth number 6, embrace your uniqueness without exiling yourself. What do I mean by that? I feel like growing up, I've always known I was different, but there was a time where I was like, I'm so misunderstood. I don't know if I can hang out in that group. They don't get me. No one gets me. Woe is me, victim, right? And feeling deeply misunderstood can actually push you toward isolation. And then you nearly exile yourself from community, social experiences. There's a difference between honoring your uniqueness, which is true. I am set apart, right? But there's a difference between honoring that and using it to justify disconnection. So don't do that to yourself. And to be honest, there are more people like you than you think. And I'm not saying everyone's that level of rare or unique. It is going to be harder to find when you are that level of rare or unique or chosen, but they exist. You are not as isolated as you think, but the way you find them is getting out there. Okay, and you're still able to be around people who are not in the same boat as you. Victimizing yourself around your difference keeps you from being the gift that you actually are. Your peculiarity is your power. The goal is integration, not exile, right? And this kind of goes back to the taking things personally and breaking up with the spirit of offense. because of your uniqueness, there probably will be people who try to push you out or exile you or make you feel different and make you feel like the fact that you're set apart makes you unworthy of being in the social group. Don't take on their energy, don't take on their burden, and don't take on what they're trying to project onto you. So, going back to the truth before this, break up with the spirit of offense so that you can be uniquely bold and bloom regardless of the haters. Truth number 7 is break up with the spirit of attachment. You are not anchored to your past. You are not anchored to your mistakes. You are not anchored to a circumstance. You are not anchored to a relationship. You are not anchored to a crush. You are not anchored to a very specific opportunity. You are not anchored to a version of yourself that no longer fits. Attachment to identity can feel like safety, sure, but is it really? If I'm clinging to this thing and completely attached to it, then I don't have open hands. And we need open hands to receive new things. This is not about being unrooted or dismissive, but it is about being free. When we stay in situations longer than we need to because we're attached to the outcome or we're attached to the expectation, we are putting a level of resistance out there. And when we stay attached to our old identity, who people expect us to be, who people expect us to show up as, we limit ourselves from achieving our fullest potential. When we stay attached to our mistakes, we are now making our mistake our identity rather than an experience. A mistake is literally just an experience. Now, you do need to learn from it and course correct, but that's all it is. Truth number 8, slow down. Your nervous system is begging you. This one is a hard truth that I had to learn, and I'm going to do it right now. Slow down physically with your words. Use more grace, more presence, more confidence lives in that stillness. Slow down in building things, especially relationships, and any foundation that you truly value and you want to be long-term or you want to last with good quality. Slow down. Okay? Be patient. The house that was built with patience and a blueprint and laying one brick at a time, take a step back, correct it, is going to be more beautiful and foundationally sturdy than the house that got done in 5 hours. And I just was go, 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 go. And then I'm like, is that good? Speed during the foundation phase is one of the most expensive shortcuts that you can take. In business, in love, in community, the world seems like it rewards urgency, but nature calls for patience, stillness, and it rewards that pace. And you are a part of nature. What I would like to do is actually create a series on all 8 of these truths and go deeper into what they mean to me and what I mean by them. My name is Tiara Click, joy strategist and authenticity coach, founder of When the Mind Clicks, a mental health-based leadership development organization. How do you know if you're a leader? Well, if your healing, your growth, and your education impact those around you. I'm your girl. Be sure to check out my website, www.whenthemindclicks.com. Subscribe to this channel, of course. I feel like you already are. Follow me on TikTok at When the Mind Clicks and leave some comments below because I would love to get a conversation started about some hard truths that you wish you knew earlier and could share with some people around you so that they don't end up having to go through the same mistakes. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.